What's up, everybody? So I've been hearing a lot about the Canucks logo discussion, right? How some people thought, oh, it's racist, we got to get rid of it. Other people thought, oh, uh, including Native American leaders, or I guess it's Canada First Nations leaders, said, no, that's a cartoon. It looks nothing like the art we do, so it's not cultural appropriation, and it's okay. Um, But that sort of sparked my thinking of what other logos in my favorite sports league, the NHL, uh, can be considered really offensive in many ways, like, uh, you know, drawing their inspiration from some bad stuff. Obviously, there's the Chicago Blackhawks, which is just a racist caricature and is horrific and, uh, you know, has, you know, um, the National Congress of American Indians has been calling for its removal for a long time. So, I mean, that one is just awful. But so I'm going to do a top five, and that one's at the top of the list, of course, of most problematic NHL logos. Okay. So, number five, we got the Detroit Red Wings. And you may say, whoa, that's sort of kind of revolutionary, you right there, that wing with the wheel that sort of represents labor in many ways, right? Detroit has a rich labor history. Now, without even getting into how that history uh, excluded African American workers, and there was deep racism within that, right? I'm just going to talk about in its modern context, um, American car culture. So there are 270 million motor vehicles in the United States, of which my family owns two. Um, and 90% of families own at least one car. And a 2010 NASA study found that motor vehicles are the single greatest American contributor to global warming because they emit greenhouse gases that aren't offset by sulfates and other cooling aerosols, which the industrial sector usually uh, produces. They produce those offsets. Um, and while, you know, you might say, oh, it's just a car, it's just a wheel, right? Maybe it's on a wagon. Well, we got to look at the history of Detroit. They weren't making wagons, folks. They were obviously making automobiles and Motown, just so that get that idea out of your head. That's outright foolish. Um, in 1925, Chrysler is founded, leading to the first massive influx of automotive jobs, and immediately following the creation of the Chrysler Corporation, and the startup of the real automobile industry in the United States. I mean, I guess Ford was in 1908 with the Model T, but you know, really taking it to the next level. A year after that, in 1926, the Red Wings are founded. So it's clear that the logo is directly related to American car culture and global warming, and also following the Chrysler Corporation. That's like concentrated capital right there. So a lot of bad stuff going on. Okay, next up, coming in at number four, we have the Capitals. Um, Now, the only reason the Capitals aren't higher on this list is because their logo is technically uh, just like that, the word mark with the hockey stick. But I'll be addressing um, the W with the Capitol building uh, in the middle, aka the seat of empire and repressive American hegemony. Um, so, the glorification of an empire that has been one of the worst forces on, in geopolitics in terms of backing brutal regimes such as uh, Nico Samson in Cyprus, Pinochet, Suharto, Nasser, the Shah, Museveni, uh, Shimon in Lebanon, uh, you know, the coups against Lumumba, being associated with the killing of Sankara, overthrow of Manuel Zelaya in 2009, Duvalier, Trujillo, right? So, I mean, the U.S. in the 20th century propped up, and that's just off the top of my head. The U.S. Batista. The U.S. in the 20th century propped up dozens of dictators, uh, and those, and that's not even getting into um, the crimes committed directly by the American Empire in that century, such as genocide in Vietnam, right? So any logo which portrays that positively, right? Like we have Backstrom wearing that on his shoulder, right? Like that's supposed to be a good thing. It has to be on this list, and you just can't. I just can't abide that. Nope. It's rather problematic in my view. So coming in at number 3, we got my other favorite team, the Edmonton Oilers. Of course, I understand why they have that logo. Alberta's a petrol province. 16% of Alberta's economy is oil and gas. 7% of Alberta's workers work in oil and gas extraction. People call it the Texas of Canada, Uh, but folks, it's literally the year 2020, almost 2021. Maybe consider a goddamn rebrand. I don't know, Edmonton solar panels or wind turbines, nuclear reactors. Like seriously, the tar sands are devastating ecosystems and harming communities on both sides of the 49th parallel. You can't still be called the Edmonton Oilers. It's absurd. And come on, like, and the way it's extracted, I mean, tar sand oil is the worst form of, like, it takes so much water to get it out of the ground. And I know what you're saying. Wait, aren't you French? Uh, well, we don't buy oil from you. We don't buy oil from Alberta. We get ours from the Saudis, baby. Yes, sir. We'll take your equalization, though. Pocket that shit. Keep it coming, baby. But yeah, Oilers should do a green-friendly rebrand and become the Edmonton solar panels. I think that would really land in terms of merchandise sales as well. Pump out a few McDavids. I think would go over pretty well, especially within Alberta. That's just my opinion. Coming in at number 2, we got the Buffalo Sabres. So the Sabres logo is obviously, of course, an allusion to the systematic slaughter of the American bison as a means of furthering a genocide and starving the Native American population into submission, thereby forcing them onto reservations. This genocidal intent, is directly demonstrated by this 1867 quote from a U.S. colonel. Kill every buffalo you can. Every buffalo dead is a native or is an Indian settled. So this quote demonstrates how American soldiers killed the buffalo as a means of quelling Native American resistance to westward expansion by effectively starving all who refused to migrate to reservations. And this effort to eradicate the American bison was nearly completely successful. The once 30 million strong herds were reduced to only 325 by the year 1884. And the political implications of this slaughter, along with huge shifts in ecosystems and food chains, should not be idolized in a sports logo. I mean, 2 sabers under a buffalo, what else are you supposed to think of? They're not even subtle. It's just, I mean, that sort of thing, it has to go. At least, I mean, seriously, guys, it's messed up. And coming in at number 1, we got the Blackhawks. Of course, this would be number 1. It's literally a racial caricature of Native American. Nothing else needs to be said. The other ones have been sort of tongue-in-cheek, as you can probably tell. Like, I just thought it would be funny to, like, extrapolate from a wheel with wings to the destruction of the planet. Or a picture of the Capitol building to, the harshest perception of American foreign policy, which I personally, whatever. I mean, that's my perception, but, it was just like, kind of a joke, but this one is not. The National Congress of American Indians has called for the discontinuation of the logo, and who am I to say their complaint is invalid? It definitely is. It's a racist caricature, full stop, and there's no place for racism of any kind in our great sport of hockey. So that's my view. The rest of the video sort of tongue in cheek. This one It's got to go, folks. It's got to go. Thanks everybody for watching. Like I said, I'm serious, like dead serious about the Blackhawks thing. It's got to go. But the rest of the things, jokes. The Sabres one, I mean, that one's kind of bad too, but the other ones are jokes. Yeah, so make sure to subscribe if you want more Anglo bashing and other fun stuff. Even though I'm not from Quebec, my family is, grandpa is. But yeah, so drop a sub if this is your first time on this channel. It's, a lot of fun stuff happens here, a lot of great stuff. Monthly videos, low production value, that sort of thing. The sort of thing you need right now. And stay safe, of course. Random guy on the internet telling you to stay safe. That's always big. Really, that totally convinces you to wear a mask if you were a dumbass and didn't wear one before. But yeah, thanks, and remember, hockey's for everyone, of course. So thank you.